Thank you so much for tuning in to Music Marvels with the Chick with Beats and Breezy Gibson. I am music producer at Chick with Beats. And shout out to my co-host, entrepreneur Breezy Gibson. So, we're really excited about bringing the show to you. Of course, we've got beats by yours truly. The music industry news is kind of taking a little lull or whatever. So we'll actually use that time to share with you some tips to kind of, think of yourself as a business if you're an artist, because a lot of these basic business principles can help you with your career, especially as we head into the new year. That always means new goals and new things to try to get done. And so we're going to share some information that you'll be able to take and help plan out your career and everything you want to accomplish for 2023. And I'm just kind of excited to bring this show to you. And a super huge shout out before we go ahead and jump in to our home stations, Grander Radio out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Sparks Radio out of Denver, Colorado. So without any further ado, let's go. Okay, and we are back, man. This is what we promised earlier. Got Breezy here breaking down the business tips for you, and just make sure that you got your pen and pad ready with all these nuggets of wisdom and information that he's got. It's just so many exciting and fascinating things to be able to learn right here. So I'll turn the floor right over to you, Breezy.
Okay, well, thank you. I mean, I gladly share this platform this morning just to give some tips from my experience in many different levels of business, many different areas of business. And one of the things you might want to do, if you have a talent, or let's say you don't have a talent, okay, then you've got to actually work on your talent. Don't go into this halfway. There are teams out there, they practice every day. Okay, so you got to practice every day and sharpen your skills. Get out there and involve yourself in open mics. There's plenty of ways to involve yourself in open mics. There actually are some online open mics where you don't really have to travel and gain that experience of being in front of a crowd, even though you can't see that crowd if it's online. But then perhaps it is one that's in person, and work on sharpening your own skills. When you're sharpening your skills, don't just go to your friends. You've got to go to people who can critique you honestly to give you some tips on whatever aspects of the music that you're trying to present. Another very, very impactful tip in business, you have to concede that you may have to stay away from some of the people that you're hanging with. You may have to really take a close look to see the people that you're surrounding yourself with, or the people that you are surrounding. Are they people that are actually going to be supportive of what you're doing, or are they going to be jealous of what you're doing? You see, it's easy to be in a crowd of folks where somebody in there, 1, 2, or 3 people that may not be supportive of what you're trying to do with music or with your business. And so you got to make a decision to ease on away, put some space between yourself and those people or that person. And so somewhat isolate yourself from that person so you can actually concentrate on what you're trying to do with building your business. Now, if those friends or people constantly come up with distractions to keep you from working and sharpening your skills, then there's an answer right there. If you can't sharpen your skills because of other people always pulling you away to do something that they want to do, then you may need to cut some people out. And that's a painful revelation. But just understand, everybody may not be on your page. Everybody may be thinking something different, and it's la time, go out to have some fun, this, that, the other, or you can't be serious with you trying to operate a business. You can't be serious. You see, so those are people that are not supporting you, and you got to step and create your own space so you can put your plans together without outside interference. Makes a lot of sense. I've seen it.
Yeah,
happens all the time, where you may be believing in yourself, but there could be people that you're circulating with, they don't believe in you. So so isolate yourself a little bit, because those are some of the same people that while you're around or while they're around, they may come one direction, but then when they're not around you, they may talk negatively of what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
So And that doesn't matter what type of business endeavor you're trying to create. But within the music business, you definitely have to so put yourself in a cocoon when it comes to your business. And so you can at least have a clear mind to think about what it is you're trying to do.
Man, those are some heavy points, man, and like very, very, very necessary to hear, because, you know, I guarantee right now, someone listening, like if they're not going through it, they've probably either been through it or know somebody else that is or will go through it. So yeah, thank you so much for bringing that, because, you know, it's so impactful to artists, you know, like you said, like who they're around, and it can affect so many different things. And so, yeah, what you said is very, very valid, very relevant. And yeah, thank you for sharing that.
And you know, one additional small tidbit that is really, really large: schedule your day. Schedule your day for work, and schedule your day for fun or other kinds of things. So if you're into your work realm, and once your telephone starts ringing or people trying to get you, are you going to interrupt your work to see what they want? The best behavior in that situation is schedule yourself an hour, 2-3 hours to do what you need to do towards your work. And if you're getting phone calls and you're getting interrupted, or you answer those calls and that stops your flow, then when that time frame elapses for that 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and then you look back and you say, well, I didn't get what I hoped to accomplish this time. Well, why? Well, you stayed on the phone. So you're the root of that. Okay, time waits for nobody, and that's a fact. So when you schedule your time, then work that time. And somebody needs to reach you, unless it's an emergency. Somebody needs to reach you, hit them back when your work time is over, because music is serious, especially the music business.
Yes, man, it's very good advice. You know, a lot of that I kind of need to reconsider for myself as well. So yeah, thank you so much for that.
Absolutely. I mean, just basic business. You can call that your basic business starter kit, because there's a lot to learn, but there's a lot to absorb. And, you know, there can be some great things happening in your life with your business, but you've got to, you could say, pay yourself first. Pay your own attention to yourself first, and then create a buffer to where you can, you know, now that's different if you've got children or so forth that you've got to take care of, you know, because of course they come first, you know, depending on their age. But we're talking about buddies and friends and people you run with. When it's work time, you gotta work, gotta put the work in.
Well said. Very great advice. So yeah, I mean, once again, thank you. It's super easy for us as artists. Our minds are kind of, you know, all over the place, you know, seeing the creativity and everything and getting ideas from everywhere. So it also makes it very, very easy to get distracted. But yeah, you've handed out some tools to help people overcome that and get done whatever it is that they're trying to accomplish. So that's really great. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Creativity is a strong word. Okay, there's some vibes that you can create or that come to you, and if you don't pay attention to those vibes when they come to you, and say that, well, I'll get back to that later, then when the later time comes, you can't even remember what it was. And that might have been the vibe that would take you to the top, but you didn't give it any credit to pay attention to it. And these vibes come when they're ready to come. So, you know, I mean, how many musicians or artists don't pay attention to that and they think they can reach back and grab that, and it might be gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very true.
Nothing worse than hearing something being played by somebody else, and you say, well, that's what I was thinking of. Well,
yeah. Nobody blame but yourself when you didn't follow through on it. Yeah, that's a feeling that hurts. I can attest to that. All right, we're going to take another pause for the cause, and then we'll be back right after this.
radio show with A Chick with Beats and Breezy Gibson on Grander Radio out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Sparks Radio out of Denver, Colorado.
Okay, as promised, I am a chick with beats, and we're going to talk about 6 ways to strengthen your online presence. It's something that's really important that some artists kind of overlook, or maybe they know that it's important, but aren't really sure how to do it, on top of actually being a creative and juggling, all these other things that you might have going on. But these are some tips that should help you be able to manage that. You should see some improvement if you actually apply these. And so kind of some free game for the day. So first off, make sure that you join popular social media platforms, because mainly you have to be where your people are. So presence on the platforms make it easier for you to find. So, regardless of how much you like some of these major ones, just at least be there. So that way when people are searching for you, they can find you. Even if it's outside of that particular platform, when they Google you, they'll be able to find you there and that sort of thing. So that kind of helps improve your search engine optimization rankings to where when people search for you, they can find you a lot easier. The next is to keep your screen name consistent. So I know sometimes this can be challenging to do because, maybe you run into somebody already has something like that, but try to keep it as consistent as you possibly can. Even if it's something simple like adding an underscore to your username or whatever the case may be. But it makes it really, really hard for fans to find you if you go by one name on Facebook, another name on Twitter, and something totally different on Instagram. So, just keep that in mind. So, having the same screen name across platforms will make you easily searchable. All right, number 3, it's also recommended that you post often. So I know this is a challenge for a lot of people, but you can take one day out of the week, month, however you want to do your planning, and just make sure that you kind of have stuff set up and ready to go. You can always save drafts. So it's not something that you'll have to necessarily think about every day, but you can just kind of hit the button and go. So definitely make sure that you post often. It's typically recommended that you post 3 times a day, but even once a day can improve your visibility. So, definitely something to try to add into your schedule whenever possible. All right, number 4, share valuable insights. So if you share things, experiences, perspectives, and things that will be relevant to people with your common interests, that kind of draws them to you. So it's not that you have to be somebody else, which is what, you kind of see happen sometime, or that's what people say happens on social media, but you can be yourself and find your people that way. So the more you share your experiences and your perspectives, also make sure that you're using relevant hashtags whenever available, but that can draw people who are kind of like-minded or similar to you and will probably like your music to follow you. And so that'll also make it easier for you to find, or for them to find you. All right, number 5, blog. So blogging about topics related to what you represent is a great way to connect with like minds as well. So, there's so many sites, people have their favorites. So yeah, whichever one you choose, all you have to do is just share some stuff that share some experiences, some knowledge that you're willing to share. And when people are searching for those topics, they'll be able to find you that way as well, which will strengthen your presence online. All right, and finally, number 6, put your music on various platforms. So, okay, this is actually beyond just distribution, but, some of the other ones that artists can connect with other artists or fans, like SoundCloud, Audiomack, and things of that nature. The more places that you put your music, the more you broaden the potential of your reach. Because there are some people who maybe only prefer to listen to artists on Bandcamp or, Audiomack, or some of these other ones that I just previously mentioned, or, there's so many out there these days. But the more places that you have your music, the better your chances are for people to find you. And there you have it. 6 ways to strengthen your online presence. Hope that you find this helpful. We wish you so much success in the new year. And peace, do your thing. All right, stick around. We'll be back right after this pause for the cause.
Hey fam, this is Breezy Gibson from the Breeze team. How would you like to see an online platform that brings you people who've already indicated that they're interested in your particular type of business? Whether it's your music you're selling, hip-hop clothing, you got a restaurant or a cafe, or if you're an entrepreneur or agent for a business. Visit me at breeze2cheese.com. That's using the number 2, breeze2cheese.com, or click my bio link on my Instagram profile to see a live demo of how this can help you get more customers and make more money.
Hey, this is A Chick with Beats. I am a multi-genre music producer and strategist to indie artists and labels. Visit my website, achickwithbeats.com, for resources for artists and instrumentals available in various genres for songs, vlogs, blogs, podcasts, themes, TV, film, commercials, and more. Once again, that's achickwithbeats.com, ACHICKWITBEATZ. Let's make something happen. right. And as promised, we are here to talk about strategic planning for independent artists, just some different things for you to ponder. So, right around this time every year, most businesses kind of, take a look at what they've done throughout the year and what they hope to accomplish. And if you're an independent artist, you definitely need to consider yourself as a business because you have something to offer and hopefully people want to, pay for it. So if you're putting all this effort and time and energy into it, why not get the most that you can out of it? So definitely make sure that you're considering yourself as a business, correct?
That is so correct because that's the truth from A to Z. You are a business.
Mm-hmm. So one of the first things that you need to check at anytime you're talking about strategic planning, this is what businesses do as well, but it's mission and objectives. So, if you don't have a mission, develop one. It doesn't have to be long, but make sure that it covers the basics. So, the basics are the who's included in your business, the what is it that you do, and what clientele do you serve? Who are the people that listen to your music? The why and how. Why is it that you do what you do? And how do you stand out from everyone else? What makes you different? What's your edge? And, if you don't have a mission, use those points to kind of ponder and plan it out. And if you do have a mission, take the time to reevaluate it and make sure that it still lines up with what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, because it's not just, you can't just get in there and just whip up and make things happen without being organized. So organization is a key. Absolutely.
The next thing that a lot of businesses kind of look at is what they call situational analysis and environmental scanning. All right, now if we break that down, basically you're taking a look at what's happening around you. Pay attention to what other artists and music professionals are doing. Social networking has made this so much easier to accomplish. So as an artist, the one major thing that you need to keep in mind during this process is that everyone isn't your competition. Just because there's other rappers, producers, singers, whatever it is that you do, doesn't mean that everybody doing that is your competition. There's so many specific niches that people, or niche, depending on, if you want to use the French pronunciation or whatever, but it's still possible to learn from other people in the industry. So pay attention to what you see works for those individuals as well as what doesn't work for those individuals. So, if it's something that you're seeing like, man, all right, so if there's something that you're seeing, you're like, man, this was awesome. Or if there's something that you're seeing that like, that was really, really off-putting, take note of that. And so, it's important to look at it from the standpoint of a fan. So not necessarily as an artist, but if you're a fan of that person or you appreciate what it is that they do, if you look at it from that standpoint, you'll be able to see what's working and utilize what grabs your attention or what didn't, and know how to apply it to your situation.
Yes. I mean, those are words of wisdom right there. You're just pinpointed right to the point. So, if you're listening, grab your pen and pad. If you don't have it, and jot some of these tips down because they're valuable.
Oh, yeah, that's the whole goal right there. So the next point is strategy formulation. So, consider all the information that you've gathered, everything that we've mentioned before already, the mission, objectives, situational analysis, environmental scanning stage, all that stuff, and determine what'll work best for the goals that you're trying to accomplish. Make sure you write them down. Writing it down could be the difference. I know it sounds bananas, insane, but if it's just in your mind, it's not really solidified. So just make sure that you get it down on paper, in your notes on your phone, your laptop, computer, whatever you have. Make sure that you write it down to kind of help you pinpoint exactly what it is that you're trying to do. The next step is to research the financial resources that you'll need to bring everything into fruition. So, if that graphic designer you want to work with charges $150 for that logo or t-shirt design, plan for that. Write that down and determine what you need to do to make it happen for this upcoming year, to kind of make 2022 your year, as most people love to say, but you can actually make it happen if you write it down and plan.
Yes. That's the key. Organization, planning, and that's something that you've got to have and be ready with, because again, just like A Chick with Beats has mentioned, you can't remember everything. Mm-hmm. So write these ideas down that you create yourself, or take tips from others that are successful in doing that same thing, just as she said.
For sure. And the next step is strategy implementation. So here's where you develop concrete steps to make sure that you reach the strategy that you formulated. So, for instance, if this is the year you want to launch your website, who are you going to contact? When will you contact them to actually set things in motion? If you're going to start selling merch, who will you contact for design and when? Who are you going to be selling through? So at this point, once again, write it down. but yeah, actually the individual steps that you need to take to make sure that it happens. And right after that, evaluation and control. So this is kind of the final point there for strategic planning. So this aspect is really important to measure how things are going. So, while you're doing this, it's good to set measurable goals so that way your progress is actually visible to you. It helps you, keep you going through tough times and helps you celebrate during the good. So if you decided to increase your followers or fans by 20%, you can see if your strategy is helping you by doing the math. Make sure that you're checking out the metrics that are available on these social media platforms or the music platforms. They often let you know how many more listeners you have via Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, whatever it is. So yeah, make sure that you're using your metrics to see how close you are to achieving your goals. It's one of the things that will definitely help you. So yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Keep your eyes open and your ears open on simplifying, just to make sure that you view whether you are making any progress. Don't expect to just make a whole lot of progress all at one time. The slow progress, even if it's just one little step, that is still progress. Okay, so just follow these tips, just as a Chick with Beats is given to you, because they're really, really valuable in the world of business music.
And like Nipsey loved to point out, it's a marathon. So just because something doesn't necessarily go the way that you planned it to or expected it to doesn't mean that it can't work. Sometimes you just kind of need to adjust how you get there. So once again, just kind of recap for strategic planning. Number 1, make sure you check your mission and objectives. Number 2, situational analysis and environmental scanning. Number 3, strategy formulation. Number 4, strategy implementation. And finally, number 5, evaluation and control. So yeah, if you need specific help getting your strategy in place, you can always reach out. I am available for consulting, but most of the stuff is available if you're willing to kind of dig down, do the research on your own via the internet. But like I said, if you need personalized help, you can always contact me via my website at achickWithBeats.com. And as always, wish you peace, love, and prosperity for the new year.
Oh yeah, sounds good.
right, and that does it for this week's edition of Music Marvels with the Chick with Beats and Breezy Gibson. Once again, we thank you so much for joining us, and another huge thank you to our home stations, Grander Radio out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Sparks Radio out of Denver, Colorado. We really appreciate the love that you've shown us, and, you know, to you, the listener, for tuning in and telling your friends about us. It's been great. We really, really appreciate the support that you've shown us. So you know where to find us next time, same place. Tune in, tell a friend, and we'll see you then. Peace.